finally, the moment I've literally waited for months for this to occur just happened, guys. That means alt season is literally around the corner. No one else will call this, no one else will say this, but we actually pre-fired this, or we actually called this ahead of time, and it actually just happened. I'm going to be explaining when alt season, because everyone's crying out our altcoins aren't pumping. But today, XRP has amazing news. First things first, I do want to say that Justin, Federal Reserve's Christopher Waller says could cut rates as early as July meeting. Right, so if not mistaken, that's like later in July. That's a little bit odd if they cut rates and alts start to pump. What do we say around that time frame? Once again, probably just got confirmed by the Federal Reserve themselves. Even if they do cut rates, it's going to be 25 basis points. They're going to be so behind the curve, it doesn't even matter. But I think people are going to get excited finally that they cut, and altcoins and cryptos will explode higher, but not the true explosion until the black swan arrives. But that's another story for another day. I do want to mention what happened with Bitcoin dominance. This is literally what I've waited for months, and it just happened today, or today, yesterday. It doesn't matter. But remember when I was talking to you guys about the head and shoulders pattern on momentum, right? So the left shoulder, the head, and then the right shoulder will come into play, right? That's on momentum, which means momentum is like getting less and less throughout, or as higher it goes, guys, okay? Which means at that point it's gonna fall. If this chart falls, which is the Bitcoin dominance, that means altcoins are very strong against Bitcoin. Guess what just happened? It just got triggered. The right shoulder on momentum just got triggered on the weekly. It's gonna get confirmed on Sunday night. So it's basically going to get confirmed, guys. And from then on, we have to see it. We have to see a red candle, right? So I'm thinking by later next month, it's going to top out. This chart will top out. It's going to be something like possibly like this, guys. Okay. It's probably going to go to 69.5% here, or somewhere around this region. Okay, is a top out, the top out for Bitcoin dominance, and then this is where alt season finally happens. I repeat, we called it actually because look at this video. So the reason why this all matches up beautifully as well is because if we do pump here, right, and Bitcoin does dump, look at this. It comes all the way down here, right? Hold support. The recession will occur right here. Do you guys see that pump right here, guys, is what we called for all this time. Is for this chart on Bitcoin dominance to create a higher high from this pivot, right? So it's going to be another high, and everyone's going to be crying, wait, what's going on? Altcoins are dying against Bitcoin. If it does dump, right, and Bitcoin has dumped, I repeat, so be very cautious. When this thing tops, alt season will occur, and guess what's going to happen? Watch this. So it pumps like this all the way down to this low, all the way down. When we get to this low, let me remove everything. But when we get to this region, okay, in September or August timeframe, when we get down here, guys, is when we will know if the true heavenly alt season will occur or it's a fake alt season, right? So like this, if we hold resistance on this moving average like this, guys, that's actual alt season, and altcoins will 100 to 1,000x. I repeat, if it holds at support, okay, the recession will appear. So it's quite easy. This is why you probably should be buying here if you haven't already in the next month or so, right? Because alt season is about to appear, guys. That's just my opinion, not financial advice. Now, this matches up with Bitcoin as well, because you know what's going to happen with Bitcoin, right? It depends on Bitcoin as well, but I think Bitcoin will go lower. Credible Crypto says there's strong support here, but if we do lose it, the next area of strong support will be 94 to 98k. Guess what I see? Here's my analysis on Bitcoin, which I'm pretty sure I'm gonna be right on. Check this out. We called this before as well, right? On that video that I showed you guys. This thing is probably gonna come down, guys. Go all the way up and then come back down like this, right? For bullish divergences, this thing is gonna go all the way up for a new all-time high, right? That's where altcoins explode, folks. Right now, the reason why I'm saying this, I'm not just picking it out of thin air, because we go to this right here. Let me remove this. Guess what happened, folks? I told you this is bad news bears, because we just held resistance. We're below this yellow line. You guys see this yellow line where it held support so long or so many times, right, for so many months. Now we're holding it as resistance. That's a bad sign. We need to flip 104k and hold it as support and go back up. If we don't, I repeat, if Bitcoin closes, which it already is, but if it closes like daily candles and stuff like that, guys, right, on the higher time frames below 104k, it's game over. Literally, it's gonna go to 88k. That's just my opinion, right? Because look at all the support and resistance, literally right here. So it's clear as day. I'm pretty sure we cracked it, guys, because I stated this weeks ago, and it's finally playing out. Isn't that strange, right? Let's go on this chart. Look, we're on support, guys. We literally need to hold. This is the last line of support, by the way. 104k for Bitcoin. It's the last line before let me see here, before 95k ish comes into play, and then below that is 90k, and then all the way down to 88k around. Okay, guys, so yeah, hold 104k. If it doesn't, and it seems like it's not right now, even though there could be a fake out pump like this, right, we need to hold 104k as support. If it doesn't, it's gonna die. And finally, everything that we have been talking about is literally coming out to a tweet, and this is all for free, folks. This isn't financial advice. Anything can happen, but it's just my opinion. It seems like it's coming into reality. Remember, this is for free, so please like today's video and share to anybody else who wants to know maybe what's upcoming. This comes from Crypto Insight UK. Look at the liquidity up above where people are shorting and they think the market is going down, and look at all this liquidity down below where people think it's gonna go higher. They're longing, okay? They're gonna whiplash. They're gonna take both. They're gonna take both out, guys. At some point in time, they're gonna take both sides out, right? So I'm thinking they're gonna go low first, then they're gonna go for up before the recession occurs later on in full. It's just my opinion. This is for Ethereum. Look at all that depth. Like, it's just so thick and red, right? Obviously, they're gonna come down for these lows, which matches up with exactly what we talked about for weeks now. And it's so beautiful, guys, right? So this is interesting because Trump is saying, hey, too late. Powell complains about costs, much of which were produced by the Biden fake government by the left side, but he could never do the biggest and best job for our country by helping to lower interest rates. And if you reduce them to the number they should be, 1% to 2%, that numbskull would be saving the United States up to $1 trillion per day. This person, Donald Trump, is literally crying out for help. Please, Jerome Powell, cuts. We need to cut, because he knows what's upcoming. The reason why Trump is saying cuts is because they're behind the curve. Heavy. Like, heavy behind the curve. How do we know this? Look at all these other countries. Trump literally posted every central bank around the world on their rates, folks. This is diabolical. I've never seen such a thing. This means that he's literally putting in place for everyone to notice, because America is behind the curve with a few other nations, but everyone else knows what's upcoming. America's always last, it seems like, right? America always seems to be last in everything, but when they do come into play, they quickly jump ahead, right? So he's still bashing Jerome Powell, guys, that we need to cut because we know what's upcoming, the recession, right? And then they'll cut so crazy, it's going to be diabolical. Look at this. The odds of rate cuts by the September FOMC have soared to over 71%. I think they're going to cut soon, which will make that move go higher, but that's the false move, right? They always have a false move. Whenever you see the first move, okay, let me explain to you guys something with XRP, right? Because we all love XRP here. The first move is always most likely the false move. If XRP dumps here, that's a false move, which means what? The true move is upwards. They're not going to pump it up here because that's the true move. They always go with the false move first, this path, to trick everyone. Then, when the rate cuts happen, when the rate cuts happen, let's say, here, guys, that's the false move, right? That's the false move. Even though they're going to cut, it's going to be a false cut. It's going to be like, so everyone gets excited and hyped, but that's false. The correct move is there. That's the real cuts that will occur, guys, right? In times of need. You guys see what I'm talking about? This is so crazy. How do we know? Right? How do we know? I don't know. So, you have a deficit spending crisis when the president is literally screaming out for a 250 basis point rate cut. The United States is on the brink of joining a crisis against the other country. CPI inflation has fallen toward the Fed's 2% target, but the yields are still skyrocketing high. Something is about to break. What could that be? The S&P seems to be topped out. What I still think will happen with the S&P, something like this, whiplash both areas before that appears. The false move, the true move, when the money printing begins. Okay, guys? So everything is literally matching up to a T. What's crazy to me is literally the I exchange, okay, is creating new all-time highs. What's going on? How is that possible when we're in a crisis? Do you guys see what I mean? They start these black swan events to print money like never before, which makes that money flood into the system. Liquidity is needed. This is how they build or bring upon liquidity. It's the most sinister thing ever. It's the most craziest thing ever. And here's oil for you. Crude oil, we have a problem. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's about to skyrocket, probably. Go above resistance, hold support, skyrocket. It's a crisis building here, right? Inflation re-entering, right? But nevertheless, guys, the second half of this year is going to be pretty much explosive, pretty much. South Korea plans to approve Bitcoin and crypto ETFs in the second half of this year. Why is it all happening then? I don't know, but we do know because it's following our timeline. This just came out, but we talked about this for weeks ago, like weeks now, right? There's so much shorts. Again, they are going to create another all-time high soon, guys. Another new all-time high, right? Because there's just so much liquidity up there. It's literally guaranteed. This is why BlackRock keeps buying. Why are they keep on buying, right? I'm guessing they're bullish on Bitcoin. Then we see Coinbase obtains regulatory license to offer crypto services across Europe. So they're gonna flood everyone in, guys, right? If this is all short-term volatility, long-term cryptos win. You and I will win no matter what happens. This isn't financial advice. Let us prepare because it seems like it's following our timeline to a T. What is that? So for amazing. See ya.